Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock. With news, the US seems to be getting serious about its border adjustment tax. But first, the overnight dairy auction went off pretty much as signalled by the dairy derivatives markets. Prices fell 3.2% in US dollars, led by a 3.7% and a 3.8% fall in whole milk and skim milk powders. Cheese fell even more, down 5.3% since the previous auction. This is not a great result, obviously, and takes overall prices back to levels we last saw in November last year, although to be fair, the gains since then have been meagre. About the only saving grace is that in New Zealand dollars, today's fall was only 1.2%. It is fair to say that prices have essentially been stuck at this level now for 4 months. On Wall Street, there were a series of strong earnings reports from some major retailers, and that helped underscore the view that the American economy is basically healthy. Wall Street has hit new record levels on that basis. However, the early readings from both the US factory and services sectors are showing a cooling, although to be fair there, from pretty healthy levels. The factory PMI dipped to 54.3 and the services index dipped to 53.9, both on 2-month lows. In London, global bank HSBC's full-year profits slumped more than 60% and fell far short of forecasts as the bank took hefty write-downs from restructuring and flagged near-term issues on revenue growth. A key analyst says global car sales should rise 1.5% in 2017 to 93.5 million vehicles, but it claims the industry faces its most risky period since the GFC. And one of those risks is the US border adjustment tax. China said today it would respond if the US imposes it. And interestingly, some major US exporters are lining up to support the tax on imports. Of anyone, they must know they'll get blowback from other countries surely. And in China, a new report is urging the country to allow farmers to access mortgage debt. It claims the change would see a wave of innovation, productivity, and significant output rises in China's agricultural sector. In Europe, EU finance ministers agreed to more measures to stop international corporations from cutting their tax bills. The rules would deal with several legal loopholes that allow multinationals to avoid taxation, such as devices to shift profits and to move debt to countries outside the EU where there are more generous interest deductions. In New York, the US Treasury 10-year yield is currently unchanged at 2.42, although it did attempt to rise above 2.46% earlier in the trading session. Oil prices are higher again today, now at just over $54 for the US benchmark, while the Brent benchmark is just under $57 a barrel. However, the gold price is still unchanged at $1,237 an ounce, and the New Zealand dollar will also start today essentially unchanged at 71.7 US cents. On the cross rates, we're at 93.4 Aussie cents, and against the euro, 67.9 euro cents. The TWI is still at 77.2. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.